Today, I want to talk about an intriguing concept, understanding someone's true character by observing just 5 key things. In our fast-paced world, where interactions are often brief and fleeting, learning to quickly and effectively assess someone's character is a valuable skill. Here's how we can do it by focusing on 5 vital aspects. A person's true character is often revealed in the moments that appear insignificant, particularly in how they treat those who cannot offer them anything in return. This principle acts as a mirror reflecting the depths of a person's empathy, kindness, and authenticity. In a world where relationships are frequently transactional, the way someone interacts with individuals who hold no power, status, or influence is a profound indicator of their core values and humanity. The significance of this behavior lies in its purity. When there is no expectation of reciprocity, the interaction becomes a true test of character. Imagine someone at a restaurant engaging with a waiter or waitress. The way they address the server can speak volumes about their nature. A person who offers a genuine thank you, maintains eye contact, or expresses patience when the service is slow shows a sense of respect and humility. They recognize the server as a fellow human being, not merely as a provider of a service. On the other hand, someone who acts dismissive, snaps their fingers for attention, or openly criticizes the server for minor mistakes reveals an entitlement and lack of consideration that runs much deeper than the surface interaction. This principle extends beyond service workers. It applies to how people treat janitors, delivery personnel, receptionists, and anyone in a position of service or perceived lower status. For instance, if a person consistently acknowledges the efforts of a janitor who keeps their workplace clean and offers them a smile or a warm greeting, it demonstrates a sense of gratitude and empathy. Conversely, ignoring such individuals or treating them as invisible implies a lack of awareness and an inflated sense of self-importance. These small, seemingly inconsequential interactions become powerful indicators of a person's moral compass. Children, who are often viewed as vulnerable and impressionable, also provide a lens through which to assess character. A person who takes the time to engage with a child, listen to their stories, or share a laugh demonstrates patience and genuine warmth. They see value in connecting with someone who may not yet possess the skills or knowledge to reciprocate in a traditional sense. In contrast, someone who brushes off a child's attempt at conversation or views them a nuisance may lack the ability to appreciate innocence and curiosity, further highlighting their own deficiencies in empathy. The same can be said for how people treat animals. An individual's interaction with pets or stray animals can be incredibly revealing. Someone who offers food to a stray dog, gently pets a cat, or shows concern for an injured bird exhibits a natural compassion that transcends self-interest. Their actions suggest an innate ability to care for other living beings, regardless of whether those beings can express gratitude or provide anything in return. On the other hand, cruelty or indifference toward animals often points to a deeper inability to empathize, raising questions about how that person may treat others in more vulnerable positions. Another poignant scenario involves observing someone in a position of power. Consider a manager or a leader in a workplace. How do they treat their subordinates, especially those at the entry level? A leader who greets every employee with the same respect, takes time to listen to their concerns, and acknowledges their contributions fosters an environment of mutual respect. This behavior underscores a recognition that everyone, regardless of title or rank, deserves dignity. Conversely, a leader who belittles subordinates, refuses to listen, or uses their authority to intimidate shows a character rooted in ego and a lack of empathy. This idea can also be extended to strangers. Imagine someone encountering a homeless individual on the street. Their response to that person's presence is a reflection of their inner world. Do they make eye contact, offer a kind word, or provide a small token of help, such as food or money? Or do they avert their gaze, quicken their pace, and dismiss the person's existence? The former approach reflects an understanding of shared humanity, a recognition that circumstances can differ but dignity is universal. The latter suggests a detachment, a failure to see beyond their own immediate concerns. It is worth noting that these behaviors are often habitual and instinctive rather than calculated. People rarely prepare themselves to impress those they consider insignificant, meaning their actions in these situations are unfiltered and authentic. That's why these interactions are such valuable indicators of character. They bypass the layers of performance that often define human relationships. The roots of this behavior can often be traced back to upbringing and personal values. Someone raised in an environment where respect for all individuals is emphasized is more likely to carry that principle into adulthood. However, even those without such a foundation have the capacity to learn and grow, consciously deciding to treat others with kindness and respect. This makes the observation of these interactions not only a tool for assessing character but also an opportunity for self-reflection. By recognizing moments where we ourselves may fall short, we can strive to become more aware and compassionate in our daily lives. Treating others with kindness and respect, regardless of their ability to reciprocate, has a ripple effect. It fosters a culture of empathy and connection, inspiring others to act similarly. A single act of kindness, whether it's holding a door open, offering a genuine compliment, or simply smiling at a stranger, can create a chain reaction that uplifts an entire community. This highlights another layer of someone's character, their ability to positively influence those around them. Conversely, poor treatment of others can have damaging consequences. A dismissive or cruel remark can erode someone's self-esteem, reinforce negative stereotypes, or contribute to a toxic environment. When someone repeatedly displays such behavior, it becomes a pattern that not only defines their character but also impacts the world around them in harmful ways. How someone treats individuals who can't offer them anything in return is a powerful and authentic measure of their character. It reflects their capacity for empathy, humility, and genuine kindness. While grand gestures and public displays may capture attention, it is these small, unguarded moments that reveal who a person truly is. By paying attention to these interactions, we not only gain insights into others, but also have the opportunity to reflect on and improve our own character. In doing so, we contribute to a world where respect, kindness, and understanding are the norms, not the exceptions. The way someone handles pressure or conflict reveals more about their character than any other circumstance. Conflict is an inevitable part of life, and it comes in many forms: disagreements with friends or colleagues, challenges in personal relationships, professional obstacles, or even the internal struggle to manage emotions during difficult times. While anyone can present themselves favorably when things are going smoothly, it is under the strain of adversity that true characteristics emerge. Observing how a person navigates these moments provides deep insight into their emotional intelligence, resilience, and integrity. When faced with conflict, some people respond with patience, understanding, and a focus on resolution. This reaction demonstrates a high level of emotional maturity. These individuals can separate their emotions from the issue at hand, ensuring that their response is constructive rather than reactive. For instance, in a heated argument, a person who listens actively, acknowledges the other person's perspective, and speaks calmly showcases self-control and respect. This approach not only helps resolve the conflict, but also strengthens relationships as it fosters trust and mutual respect. In contrast, others may become defensive, aggressive, or dismissive when under pressure. These reactions often stem from insecurity or an inability to regulate emotions. Imagine someone who, when criticized at work, immediately lashes out at their colleagues or shifts blame to others. Such behavior reflects a lack of accountability and a fragile ego. Instead of addressing the issue or seeking solutions, they prioritize protecting their image or ego, often at the expense of others. Over time, this pattern of behavior erodes trust and creates an environment of hostility and division. Another revealing aspect of handling conflict is how a person deals with compromise. Conflict resolution often requires finding common ground, which can only happen if both parties are willing to adapt and negotiate. A person who is open to compromise demonstrates flexibility and a genuine desire to find solutions that benefit everyone involved. This willingness to work collaboratively reflects a balanced perspective and empathy. On the other hand, someone who refuses to budge, insists on having their way, or views compromise as a weakness may struggle with controlling their ego. This rigidity often signals a self-centered nature, as they prioritize their desires over the collective good. A particularly telling moment is how a person treats others during moments of frustration or anger. When emotions run high, it is easy to say or do things that may hurt others. A person of strong character recognizes this and exercises caution with their words and actions, even in the heat of the moment. They understand that conflict should not become an excuse to demean or belittle others. For example, a leader who responds to an employee's mistake with constructive feedback rather than anger fosters a culture of learning and growth. Conversely, someone who uses conflict as an opportunity to insult or dominate others reveals a lack of empathy and emotional regulation. Their inability to separate their emotions from their actions can lead to toxic environments, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. How someone handles conflict also highlights their ability to take responsibility. Accountability is a cornerstone of strong character and is often tested in moments of disagreement or failure. Consider a situation where a project fails at work. A person who steps up, acknowledges their mistakes, and focuses on solutions demonstrates integrity and leadership. They recognize that conflict and failure are opportunities for growth and learning. In contrast, someone who avoids responsibility, blames others, or becomes defensive exposes their unwillingness to face challenges head-on. This avoidance not only weakens their relationships with others, but also stunts their own personal and professional development. The way someone reacts to conflict can also reveal their level of empathy and understanding. Empathy is the ability to see a situation from another person's perspective and to recognize their feelings. During conflicts, empathetic individuals strive to understand the emotions behind the other person's actions. For instance, if a friend lashes out unexpectedly, an empathetic response would involve pausing to consider what might be causing their behavior rather than immediately retaliating. This approach not only de-escalates the conflict, but also strengthens the bond between individuals. On the other hand, a lack of empathy during conflict often results in a one-sided, self-centered approach that exacerbates the situation rather than resolving it. Another critical factor is how someone manages stress during prolonged conflicts or high-pressure situations. Life often presents challenges that cannot be resolved immediately, requiring patience and perseverance. A person who remains composed and consistent during these times demonstrates resilience and emotional stability. They can keep their emotions in check, maintain a clear focus, and continue working toward a solution. This steadiness under pressure inspires confidence and respect from those around them. In contrast, someone who becomes erratic, impulsive, or gives up when faced with prolonged difficulties reveals a lack of inner strength and resilience. Their inability to withstand pressure can lead to poor decision-making and further complications. A person's communication style during conflict is another window into their character. Effective communicators approach disagreements with clarity, honesty, and respect. They express their thoughts and feelings without resorting to passive-aggressive comments, sarcasm, or hostility. They also actively listen, ensuring that the other person feels heard and understood. This approach fosters a collaborative environment where both parties feel valued, even in the midst of a disagreement. Conversely, poor communicators may interrupt, raise their voice, or dominate the conversation, revealing a lack of respect and consideration for others. This type of communication often escalates conflicts rather than resolving them. Perhaps one of the most revealing aspects of conflict is whether someone learns from it. Every disagreement, challenge, or failure carries valuable lessons. A person who reflects on these experiences and uses them to grow exhibits a strong character and a commitment to self-improvement. They view conflicts not as setbacks, but as opportunities to deepen their understanding of themselves and others. For instance, a couple that experiences a misunderstanding but uses it as a chance to improve their communication demonstrates a relationship built on mutual respect and growth. In contrast, someone who repeats the same destructive patterns in conflict shows a lack of introspection and an unwillingness to change. How someone resolves conflict provides a clear indication of their priorities and values. Do they seek to repair and strengthen relationships, or are they more focused on winning or being right? A person who prioritizes relationships will approach conflicts with humility, empathy, and a genuine desire for resolution. They recognize that conflicts are not battles to be won, but opportunities to deepen connections and understanding. On the other hand, someone who is more concerned with asserting dominance or proving their point may sacrifice relationships for the sake of their ego. How someone handles pressure or conflict is one of the most accurate measures of their character. It reveals their emotional intelligence, empathy, resilience, and ability to prioritize relationships over ego. Observing these moments provides invaluable insights into a person's true nature as they strip away the facade often masks behavior in less challenging circumstances. By paying attention to these reactions, we not only understand others better, but also gain the tools to improve our own responses to conflict, ultimately fostering stronger and healthier relationships. A person's attitude toward those who can offer them nothing in return is one of the clearest indicators of their true character. This behavior sheds light on their core values, empathy, and sense of humanity. In a world where transactional relationships are common, how someone treats individuals from whom they have nothing to gain reveals whether their actions are driven by genuine kindness or self-interest. Observing this dynamic provides a lens through which the essence of their morality and integrity becomes unmistakably clear. One significant example of this principle can be seen in interactions with individuals in service roles such as waitstaff, janitors, or customer service representatives. These positions are often overlooked or undervalued, and the way someone engages with these workers can be telling. A person who treats service workers with respect, politeness, and gratitude demonstrates a natural empathy and recognition of the inherent dignity in every human being. They see others not as tools for their convenience, but as individuals with their own lives, struggles, and feelings. For instance, someone who thanks a waiter for their effort, even if there was a small mistake in the order, shows patience and understanding. This attitude conveys a depth of character that values respect over ego. Conversely, someone who belittles or ignores those in service roles often reveals arrogance or a sense of entitlement. Imagine a customer berating a cashier for a delay or treating them as invisible. Such behavior reflects an underlying lack of empathy and an inflated sense of self-importance. People who consistently act this way when they believe they are in a position of power are likely driven by their ego rather than any genuine concern for others. Their character appears polished only when dealing with equals or superiors, but their true disposition emerges when interacting with those they perceive as beneath them. How someone behaves toward individuals who are vulnerable or marginalized also speaks volumes about their character. Vulnerable populations such as the homeless, elderly, or differently abled often experience neglect or even mistreatment from society at large. A person with genuine compassion will make an effort to acknowledge and support these individuals, whether through small acts of kindness, a listening ear, or active advocacy. For example, someone who stops to help an elderly person cross the street or takes the time to donate food to a homeless shelter without seeking recognition demonstrates a deep-seated sense of responsibility toward humanity. Their actions are not guided by the prospect of reward, but by the belief that kindness is its own justification. Indifference or cruelty toward vulnerable groups reveals a stark lack of empathy. Turning a blind eye to someone in need or mocking their circumstances speaks to a coldness of heart that prioritizes personal comfort over compassion. For instance, laughing at someone struggling with a disability or ignoring a homeless person's plea for help reflects an absence of basic humanity. Such actions highlight a self-centered worldview that values others only insofar as they serve a purpose or contribute to one's own benefit. Beyond societal interactions, this principle is equally relevant in personal relationships. Consider how someone treats a friend who is going through a difficult time, especially when offering support may come at a personal cost. True character shines in these moments, as it requires selflessness and a willingness to invest time and energy without any immediate return. For example, a person who provides emotional support to a friend facing financial difficulties without expecting repayment or acknowledgement demonstrates loyalty and genuine care. Their actions are motivated not by what they can gain, but by a deep commitment to the well-being of others. On the other hand, someone who disappears when a friend is in need, citing inconvenience or discomfort, reveals a superficiality in their relationships. Such individuals may only engage with others when it is easy or beneficial, avoiding situations where true support is required. This behavior underscores a lack of depth in their character, as their interactions are guided by self-interest rather than authentic connections. Another powerful indicator of character is how someone behaves when they have nothing to lose by being unkind or dismissive. In situations where there is no social or professional consequence for rudeness, a person's true nature becomes evident. For instance, if someone speaks rudely to a stranger they will never see again or makes demeaning comments in private, it demonstrates a lack of integrity. Their kindness or civility is not rooted in genuine values, but in the fear of repercussions or the desire to maintain appearances. Conversely, those who remain kind and respectful, even when no one is watching, reveal the strength of their principles. Their behavior is consistent because it stems from a deeply ingrained sense of morality rather than external pressures. This authenticity is rare and speaks to a character that prioritizes doing the right thing over seeking validation or approval. A person's attitude toward animals also provides insight into their true nature. Animals, especially domestic pets or strays, rely entirely on human compassion for their well-being. How someone interacts with animals often mirrors their broader approach to life. A person who is gentle, caring, and patient with animals is likely to exhibit those same qualities in human relationships. They recognize the value of kindness even when the recipient cannot express gratitude in return. Cruelty or indifference toward animals often signals a troubling lack of empathy. Studies have shown that individuals who mistreat animals are more likely to display similar behaviors toward people, as this disregard for life and suffering transcends species. A person's treatment of animals is, therefore, a powerful and unfiltered glimpse into their moral compass. Another critical aspect of this principle is how someone approaches community service or charity. Those who genuinely care about the well-being of others often seek out opportunities to give back, even if it requires sacrificing their time or resources. For example, volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring underprivileged youth, or donating to causes without seeking recognition reflects a character built on generosity and altruism. These individuals derive satisfaction not from the acknowledgement of their efforts, but from the impact they can make on others' lives. Performative acts of kindness, those done solely for praise or social status, reveal a shallow understanding of compassion. A person who donates to charity only to post about it on social media or volunteers at events primarily for networking opportunities is not motivated by a genuine desire to help. Their actions are more about bolstering their own image than addressing the needs of others, exposing a self-centered approach masked by the appearance of benevolence. How someone treats those who can offer them nothing in return serves as a litmus test for their values and character. It strips away the performative aspects of behavior, revealing the authenticity or lack thereof beneath the surface. This principle reminds us that true kindness and compassion are not conditional. They are not reserved for situations where there is something to gain. Instead, they are extended to all, regardless of status, ability, or circumstance. Observing these interactions provides profound insight into a person's moral foundation, empathy, and integrity. It also challenges us to reflect on our own behavior and strive for consistency in how we treat others, ensuring that our actions are guided by genuine kindness rather than self-interest. In a world often driven by transactional relationships, the ability to extend compassion without expectation is a rare and invaluable trait, one that defines the essence of true character. Observing how someone reacts under stress or pressure is one of the most effective ways to uncover their true character. Stress strips away the carefully curated facade that many people wear in calm and controlled situations, exposing their raw and authentic selves. When faced with adversity, a person's decisions, attitudes, and behaviors reveal their emotional resilience, problem-solving abilities, and the core values that guide them. These moments of vulnerability provide a powerful lens through which to understand their genuine nature. Stress often brings out a spectrum of emotions, including frustration, fear, anger, or sadness, which can test an individual's patience and self-control. Someone who can maintain composure in challenging circumstances demonstrates emotional intelligence and maturity. For instance, a leader managing a team through a crisis who remains calm, listens to input, and makes thoughtful decisions reflects a strong inner stability. Such behavior not only inspires confidence in those around them, but also signals that they prioritize constructive problem-solving over impulsive reactions. In contrast, individuals who lash out, blame others, or succumb to panic under stress often reveal deeper insecurities or a lack of self-regulation. These reactions can undermine trust and collaboration, as they may prioritize their immediate emotional release over the well-being of those around them. For example, someone who angrily berates a coworker during a high-pressure project may be more focused on deflecting their discomfort than addressing the problem at hand. This behavior highlights an inability to navigate challenges in a way that respects others and fosters growth. Another aspect of character that emerges under stress is an individual's approach to responsibility and accountability. When things go wrong, some people instinctively look for scapegoats, attempting to shift blame to protect their own reputation. This behavior can indicate a fragile ego and a lack of integrity, as it prioritizes self-preservation over fairness and honesty. For instance, a manager who blames their team for a project's failure despite their own poor planning reveals a tendency to deflect accountability rather than learn from the experience. On the other hand, those who acknowledge their mistakes and take ownership of their actions under pressure demonstrate humility and strength of character. Admitting fault in stressful situations requires courage and a willingness to grow, both of which are hallmarks of a reliable and trustworthy individual. Imagine a team leader who openly admits their misjudgment during a critical decision and focuses on finding a solution rather than dwelling on the error. This response fosters a culture of learning and mutual respect, as it prioritizes progress over personal pride. Stressful situations also highlight an individual's empathy and consideration for others. When the pressure is on, some people may become so consumed by their own challenges that they neglect the needs or feelings of those around them. This self-centered response can manifest as dismissiveness, impatience, or even exploitation of others to alleviate their own burden. For instance, a colleague who demands excessive effort from teammates without acknowledging their contributions during a hectic deadline shows a lack of awareness and appreciation for shared struggles. Conversely, individuals who remain attuned to others' needs, even in high-pressure scenarios, demonstrate a depth of compassion and emotional intelligence. A person who takes the time to check in on a stressed coworker or offers words of encouragement during a crisis shows that their values extend beyond their immediate circumstances. These actions reflect an innate sense of community and support, emphasizing that true character is defined not just by how someone handles their own stress, but by how they uplift others in the process. Problem-solving skills are another dimension of character that becomes evident under stress. High-pressure situations often demand quick thinking, adaptability, and a willingness to face uncertainty head-on. Those who can approach challenges with a clear mind and a solution-oriented attitude reveal resilience and resourcefulness. For instance, an entrepreneur navigating unexpected financial setbacks by creatively pivoting their business model demonstrates an ability to thrive under pressure. This adaptability reflects a mindset that views obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. In contrast, individuals who become paralyzed by stress or resort to reckless decision-making may struggle with resilience or foresight. Impulsive actions taken in moments of pressure can lead to further complications, revealing a lack of planning or emotional regulation. For example, a driver in a traffic jam who dangerously cuts off other vehicles to save time exhibits a disregard for safety and long-term consequences, prioritizing immediate relief over thoughtful decision-making. This behavior underscores the importance of maintaining perspective and control, even in challenging situations. Another revealing aspect of stress responses is the alignment or lack thereof between someone's values and their actions. Under normal circumstances, people may find it relatively easy to adhere to their principles, such as honesty, kindness, or fairness. However, stress often tests the strength of these values. An individual who compromises their ethics under pressure, such as lying to escape responsibility or exploiting others to gain an advantage, reveals that their values are conditional rather than deeply ingrained. On the other hand, those who remain steadfast in their principles, even when it is difficult, exemplify integrity and authenticity. For instance, a business owner who refuses to cut corners or compromise on ethical practices during financial hardship demonstrates a commitment to their core beliefs. This consistency builds trust and respect, as it shows that their actions are guided by a moral compass rather than external circumstances. Stress also offers insight into a person's capacity for self-awareness and self-improvement. Some individuals use challenging experiences as an opportunity to reflect, learn, and grow, viewing setbacks as a natural part of life's journey. This mindset reveals a level of humility and resilience, as it requires acknowledging one's limitations and seeking ways to overcome them. For example, an athlete who loses a critical game but uses the experience to refine their skills and strategies exhibits a growth-oriented perspective that values progress over perfection. In contrast, individuals who respond to stress with denial, avoidance, or blame may struggle to grow from their experiences. Refusing to acknowledge the lessons embedded in challenges reflects a fixed mindset that resists change and adaptation. This approach can lead to repeated mistakes and missed opportunities for personal and professional development. How someone handles stress reveals the essence of their character. It uncovers their capacity for emotional regulation, accountability, empathy, adaptability, and commitment to their values. Observing these behaviors in high-pressure situations provides a more accurate and unfiltered understanding of who they are beyond the polished image they may present in calmer moments. Stress acts as a magnifying glass, amplifying both strengths and weaknesses, and offers a unique window into the true nature of an individual. How someone treats those who can do little or nothing for them is one of the most powerful indicators of their true character. This behavior reveals their genuine nature, untainted by personal gain or external pressures. People's interactions with those who have no influence over their status, wealth, or opportunities are often unfiltered and unguarded, offering a raw glimpse into their fundamental values, empathy, and kindness. The way a person treats waitstaff, custodians, clerks, or anyone perceived as being in a position of lesser authority or power speaks volumes about their humility and respect for others. These encounters often lack the incentives for ingratiation or pretense, making them some of the most honest and telling moments of character display. For instance, someone who greets a cashier with warmth and patience, regardless of their own stress or the pace of service, demonstrates respect and understanding for the human experience. This approach reflects an innate belief in the dignity of every individual, irrespective of their role in society. On the other hand, individuals who treat others poorly when they hold no personal advantage exhibit a lack of empathy and an inflated sense of self-importance. A person who is condescending to a janitor or dismissive toward a delivery driver reveals a concerning disregard for the humanity and contributions of those around them. These behaviors suggest that their kindness or politeness may be reserved only for those from whom they stand to benefit, rather than stemming from a consistent moral foundation. True character is particularly evident in moments when individuals interact with those who are vulnerable or marginalized. Helping someone in need without expectation of reciprocation reflects compassion, generosity, and integrity. For instance, offering assistance to a homeless person, volunteering time to help underserved communities, or showing kindness to an elderly neighbor are acts that demonstrate a selfless concern for others. These actions reveal an understanding that all humans are interconnected and that one's worth is not determined by their socioeconomic status or what they can provide in return. Conversely, ignoring or demeaning those who are less fortunate reveals a lack of compassion and emotional maturity. People who look down on others because of their circumstances often expose their own insecurities or a desire to elevate themselves by diminishing others. This behavior is not only indicative of poor character, but also perpetuates harmful stereotypes and societal divisions. For example, dismissing a beggar on the street with disdain instead of acknowledging their humanity reflects a lack of empathy and a failure to see the broader picture of systemic inequality. Another important aspect of this principle is how individuals treat animals, as they represent beings that cannot advocate for themselves. Those who show kindness and care toward animals demonstrate an intrinsic sense of responsibility and empathy that extends beyond human interactions. For instance, rescuing a stray dog, feeding birds, or ensuring the humane treatment of pets highlights a deep respect for life in all its forms. This behavior reflects an awareness that one's power over another being should be exercised with compassion, not exploitation. In contrast, individuals who mistreat animals often reveal a troubling lack of empathy and a propensity for cruelty. Abusing or neglecting creatures that are wholly dependent on humans for care indicates a dangerous disregard for suffering and vulnerability. This type of behavior can also be a warning sign of deeper issues, as studies have linked animal cruelty to patterns of violence and a lack of emotional regulation. The way someone responds to acts of service also reveals their character. Expressing genuine gratitude, no matter how small the gesture, signifies humility and an understanding of the interconnectedness of human relationships. A simple thank you to a barista, a smile for a delivery person, or a heartfelt acknowledgement of someone's efforts communicates respect and appreciation. These actions indicate that the individual values the contributions of others and does not take them for granted. On the other hand, a lack of acknowledgement or a sense of entitlement toward acts of service reflects self-centeredness and an inability to recognize others' efforts. For instance, a diner who snaps their fingers impatiently at a server or fails to leave a tip despite excellent service demonstrates a disregard for the hard work and humanity of others. This behavior not only highlights a lack of gratitude, but also fosters an environment of disrespect and inequality. Another revealing dynamic is how individuals behave in relationships where they hold power, such as in mentorships, workplaces, or family roles. Leaders or mentors who treat their subordinates with kindness, fairness, and encouragement exemplify strong character. They understand that their position comes with a responsibility to uplift and inspire rather than intimidate or dominate. A manager who takes the time to mentor a struggling employee, recognizing their potential and supporting their growth, showcases a commitment to positive leadership. In contrast, those who abuse their power by belittling or exploiting others reveal an insecurity and a need to assert dominance. Such behavior undermines trust and can have long-lasting negative effects on those subjected to it. For example, a coach who humiliates their players to assert control prioritizes their ego over the development and well-being of the team. This dynamic reflects a failure to use authority constructively and compassionately. The principle extends to how individuals engage in acts of charity or kindness when there is no audience or external recognition. Someone who quietly helps a stranger in need, such as paying for groceries when another cannot afford them, reflects authenticity and a pure desire to do good. Their actions are not motivated by accolades or approval, but by an intrinsic understanding of the importance of compassion and generosity. On the other hand, individuals who only perform acts of kindness when there is an opportunity for public recognition may lack genuine altruism. Posting every charitable act on social media or seeking praise for helping others suggests that the motivation is rooted in self-promotion rather than sincere care. While the act itself may still benefit others, it exposes a character driven more by external validation than internal values. How people handle disagreements or conflicts with those who hold no leverage over them can be telling. A person who remains respectful and patient even when their counterpart lacks influence or power demonstrates integrity and self-control. For instance, a customer who resolves a billing error with a polite conversation rather than aggressive demands shows that they prioritize understanding and fairness over exerting dominance. In contrast, those who resort to bullying or intimidation tactics when dealing with less powerful individuals reveal a lack of moral grounding. This behavior reflects an inclination to misuse their position of strength and creates an environment of fear rather than respect. For example, a boss who reprimands employees publicly or demeans them for minor mistakes demonstrates poor character as they prioritize their authority over the dignity of others. The way someone treats those who can do little or nothing for them serves as a clear and powerful reflection of their true character. It reveals whether their kindness and respect are conditional or deeply ingrained values. So observing these interactions offers invaluable insight into their empathy, humility, and moral integrity, showcasing who they truly are beneath surface-level impressions. How someone behaves under pressure reveals their true character more clearly than almost any other situation. Pressure strips away the masks people wear in everyday life, exposing their raw emotions, instincts, and decision-making processes. It is in these moments of high stakes, uncertainty, or intense stress that their values, resilience, and interpersonal skills come to light. When individuals are placed in stressful situations, their ability to remain calm, composed, and rational becomes a defining trait. Those who can navigate challenges without succumbing to panic or hostility demonstrate emotional intelligence and self-control. For example, consider a leader managing a crisis at work, a system failure, an unanticipated setback, or a customer dispute. A leader who listens attentively, communicates clearly, and focuses on solutions rather than assigning blame exhibits strength and composure. This behavior fosters trust and stability, reflecting a character rooted in responsibility and accountability. On the other hand, individuals who crumble under pressure or lash out at others reveal a lack of emotional regulation and resilience. A person who becomes argumentative, dismissive, or erratic in such situations exposes their inability to manage stress constructively. For instance, an employee who, when faced with a tight deadline, becomes irritable and blames coworkers for delays shows a tendency to externalize stress rather than address it collaboratively. This reaction often indicates underlying insecurities or a lack of coping mechanisms which can strain relationships and diminish their credibility. Pressure also brings to light a person's ethical core. When individuals are forced to make difficult decisions with significant consequences, their priorities and integrity become evident. For example, imagine someone who finds a wallet full of cash but no identification during a financially challenging period in their life. Returning the wallet to the proper authorities even when tempted to keep the money reflects strong moral principles and an unwavering sense of right and wrong. Similarly, in professional settings, an employee who resists the temptation to cut corners or engage in unethical behavior to meet targets demonstrates integrity even under immense pressure. In contrast, those who compromise their values to escape a challenging situation or achieve a quick benefit reveal weaknesses in their character. For instance, a business person who resorts to deceptive practices during negotiations to secure a deal prioritizes short-term gain over ethical conduct. This decision not only undermines trust but also reflects a character willing to sacrifice principles for personal advantage, especially when the stakes are high. The ability to maintain empathy and kindness under pressure is another key marker of character. Stressful circumstances often test a person's capacity to remain considerate of others' feelings and perspectives. For example, a parent juggling work, deadlines, and household responsibilities who still takes the time to listen to their child's concerns demonstrates remarkable patience and care. This behavior highlights their ability to balance competing priorities without losing sight of their relationships and responsibilities. Conversely, individuals who become dismissive or neglectful of others when overwhelmed reveal a lack of compassion. A person who snaps at a waiter because of a delay in their meal, blaming them for an issue outside their control, demonstrates an inability to separate personal frustration from interpersonal interactions. This behavior often reflects deeper tendencies towards selfishness or an inflated sense of entitlement, which becomes more pronounced when they are under duress. Pressure also exposes leadership qualities or the lack thereof. True leaders are those who can inspire confidence, provide guidance, and uplift others even when faced with daunting challenges. For example, a team leader who, during a significant project setback, reassures their colleagues, reorganizes tasks efficiently, and motivates everyone to push forward shows resilience and the ability to lead by example. This type of leadership not only resolves the immediate crisis, but also strengthens the team's morale and cohesion, reflecting the leader's strong character. In contrast, individuals who resort to authoritarian or passive approaches in moments of stress reveal a lack of leadership acumen. A manager who deflects responsibility onto their team when things go wrong or withdraws entirely, leaving others to fend for themselves, exposes significant flaws in their character. These actions erode trust and can lead to long-term damage in both personal and professional relationships. Another revealing aspect of how someone handles pressure is their capacity for problem-solving and creativity. High-pressure situations often require quick thinking, adaptability, and a willingness to take calculated risks. A person who approaches such moments with a calm and analytical mindset demonstrates resourcefulness and determination. For instance, a student facing an unexpected change in exam format who devises a new study plan and adapts their approach to succeed shows resilience and a proactive attitude. This behavior reflects a belief in their ability to overcome obstacles through effort and ingenuity. On the other hand, individuals who freeze or become paralyzed by stress often reveal a lack of confidence in their abilities or an unwillingness to embrace challenges. While such reactions are natural to some extent, repeated patterns of avoidance or indecision suggest a deeper character flaw, namely, a reluctance to grow or take responsibility. This tendency not only limits personal development but also impacts the people who depend on them, creating ripples of uncertainty and inefficiency. Pressure also amplifies a person's communication style. In moments of stress, some individuals excel at articulating their thoughts clearly and maintaining transparency, even when delivering difficult news. For example, a CEO informing employees of layoffs while emphasizing empathy, support mechanisms, and the rationale behind the decision demonstrates maturity and respect for those affected. This approach reflects a commitment to integrity and a recognition of the importance of clear, compassionate communication. In contrast, individuals who become defensive, evasive, or aggressive in their communication under pressure reveal insecurity and a lack of confidence in their ability to handle adversity. A friend who reacts to criticism during a heated argument by shutting down or resorting to personal attacks rather than engaging in constructive dialogue demonstrates an inability to navigate conflicts effectively. This behavior often stems from a fear of vulnerability or a need to protect one's ego at the expense of genuine connection. Pressure often serves as a catalyst for personal growth, revealing an individual's willingness to learn and evolve. Those who view challenges as opportunities for self-improvement rather than insurmountable obstacles showcase resilience and a growth-oriented mindset. For example, an athlete who loses an important match, but uses the experience to analyze their weaknesses, refine their skills, and return stronger demonstrates a commendable commitment to self-betterment. This attitude reflects an understanding that failure and adversity are integral parts of progress, not reflections of inadequacy. In contrast, individuals who refuse to acknowledge their role in setbacks or blame external factors for their difficulties exhibit a fixed mindset and an unwillingness to grow. A colleague who consistently avoids constructive feedback or dismisses suggestions for improvement reveals an inability to embrace change and adapt to evolving circumstances. This resistance to growth not only limits their potential but also creates challenges for those who work alongside them. How someone behaves under pressure provides one of the most unfiltered views into their true character. It reveals their emotional resilience, ethical compass, interpersonal skills, and capacity for growth. By observing how individuals navigate stress, one can gain a deeper understanding of their values, priorities, and authenticity, painting a clear and vivid picture of who they truly are.